Listen. Do you want to know a secret?
Hello, and welcome to my Beatles YouTube channel. If you like the Beatles, please make sure you subscribe and you check out my other videos because I'm sure you're gonna find them interesting. This is another episode of a new series called Secrets of the Beatles, in which we analyze every single Beatles song one episode at a time. Every episode is divided into 5 different sections: the story behind the song, in the studio, decoding the lyrics, breaking down the music, and legacy and impact. Today's song is Do You Want to Know a Secret? From the Beatles' debut album, Please Please Me. So let's go ahead with our first section.
The story behind the song. Behind the song.
Do You Want to Know a Secret is a song composed primarily by John Lennon, but it was credited to John Lennon and Paul McCartney. The song was inspired by I'm Wishing, a tune from 1937 Walt Disney animated film Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. John Lennon's mother, Julia, used to sing this song to him when he was a boy. The first 2 lines of the song go, "Want to know a secret? Promise not to tell?" which are the first 2 lines in the verses of Do You Want to Know a Secret? Paul McCartney said that the song was a 50-50 collaboration with John Lennon, and that it was written especially for George Harrison to sing. John Lennon, however, recalls differently. He said the song is completely his own, and that when he finished the song, he realized that the song was better suited to George Harrison. Let's go ahead with our next section.
In the studio, recording the song.
The Beatles recorded Do You Want to Know a Secret on the 11th of February 1963 at Abbey Road Studios, of course at that time it was called EMI Studios, in London. This was a 10-hour-long marathon session in which they recorded 10 out of the 14 songs of the Beatles' debut album Please Please Me. Producer George Martin had been to the Cavern Club in Liverpool and had seen the Beatles play it live and wanted to recreate that energetic atmosphere in the studio. That's why he asked the Beatles to record all the songs in one day as if it was a show. In a 1980 interview, John Lennon said that he gave the song to George Harrison because it only had 3 notes and he's never been the best singer in the world. But he also added that George Harrison has improved a lot since then. In George Harrison's defense, I can say that he did an excellent job, in my opinion. His voice captures the cuteness of the song in the verses, and it gets raspy and powerful at the end of the verses when it says, "I'm in love with you." So, for this session we have George Harrison on lead vocals and lead guitar, John Lennon on backing vocals and rhythm guitar, Paul McCartney on backing vocals and bass. Paul McCartney's bass line in this song is really cool because it never stops moving. It goes dum 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 all the time. And the reason for that is because Paul McCartney was playing a Hofner bass. This is a very particular type of bass guitar. It's called a violin bass because it's hollow. Now, this is a very famous bass thanks to Paul. Many indie bands like Tame Impala, for example, they play the Hofner, and it's a really cool instrument. I would actually love to have one. But the thing is that it has a very particular sound because it lacks sustain. So basically when you play a note on a standard bass, like a Fender Precision for example, it goes whereas if you play a Hofner, it goes and it dies. That's why Paul McCartney ended up writing a lot of his bass lines like that. And then we have Ringo Starr on drums, and he also taps his drumsticks when the song goes, "I know a secret for a day or two." We can hear that sound with a lot of echo. The song was produced by George Martin and engineered by Norman Smith. So let's go ahead with our next section.
This is decoding the lyrics.
Being inspired by I'm Wishing, a tune from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the lyrics of Do You Want to Know a Secret capture this childish innocence. Like, it's a love song, but it's a secret that I love you. You know, I'm not posting it on Instagram. I'm not telling everyone I know. It's so secret that I have to whisper in your ear. And then it says, just the words you long to hear. So we expect reciprocity, which is great, right? Because otherwise it's a bit sad. I've known the secret for a day or two, nobody knows, just we two. Hi, sorry to interrupt the video. Just a very quick, very important announcement. I published a book. That's right, I published a book. It's called From the Cavern to Abbey Road, a journey through the Beatles' iconic landmarks. In this book, we see the story of the Beatles from the places where everything happened. Some of them are famous, like let's say Abbey Road Studios, and some of them perhaps not so famous, like for example the art gallery where John and Yoko met. I put a lot of work and effort into this book, and it would help me so much if you grabbed a copy. It's available on Amazon all around the world, so if you want your copy, please go to the link in the description. Thank you. Now back to the video. Let's go ahead with our next section.
Breaking down the music, breaking down the music, breaking down the music, breaking down the music.
Do You Want to Know a Secret is a pretty short song lasting only 1 minute and 57 seconds, but then again most of the songs of Please Please Me are pretty short. Now I'm gonna show you something about the harmony. Do You Want to Know a Secret is in the key of E major, but it starts with an intro which is in the key of E minor.
You'll never know how much I really love you.
Now G.
You'll never know how much I really care.
And we go to the 5th grade of the scale, which is B, in this case B7, which adds extra tension. The 5th wants to resolve, it wants to go back to E, but it can take us back to E minor, or just as easily take us to the key of E major, which is what we're doing. And this is where the verse starts.
Listen.
So we have E, and then we have a descending bass line. All minor chords. G sharp minor, G minor, F sharp minor. And then back to the 5th, which wants to resolve and take us back to E.
Listen. Know a secret
Again.
Do you promise not to tell?
Same thing.
Closer.
And now from the 2nd verse we add an extra layer, which is the Beatles' backing vocals. John Lennon goes
Do-da-do.
and Paul McCartney,
Do-da-do.
and of course John and Paul's vocals together sound absolutely beautiful. And what I like the most about these vocal harmonies is how they play with the rhythm, because the guitar goes but the vocals go doo-da-doo. So together, beautiful. And then in the bridge we have a very spicy chord. We go,
I've known the secret for a day or two.
you can hear it, it sounds kind of spicy. This is a B minor, but in the key of E major. B is a major chord, but in this case we're doing B minor, which makes it sound kind of spicy, kind of an expensive chord.
I've known the secret for a day or two.
You can hear the tension.
Nobody knows, just us two.
And now B major 7, which takes us back to E major. Genius. So let's go ahead with our final section.
And finally, this is legacy and impact.
Do You Want to Know a Secret was included in the Beatles' debut album, Please Please Me, which was released on the 22nd of March 1963 in the UK, and it reached the top spot on the UK Records chart, and it stayed there for 30 weeks, marking a very promising start for the Beatles. In the US, the song was released as a single in 1964, reaching number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100, making it the first Beatles song for which George Harrison recorded lead vocals to reach the top 10. And it was actually the most successful song sung by George Harrison until Something peaked at number 1 in 1969. In the UK, Billy J. Kramer released a cover of the song as his debut single, reaching number 1 on the NME Singles Chart and number 2 on the Record Retailer Chart. So this is pretty much it for now. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. You can also follow me on Instagram or Facebook. There is a PayPal link for donations. Of course, every donation will be absolutely appreciated. You can buy my book. That would actually make me very, very happy indeed. Or the free option is to subscribe to this YouTube channel and maybe click on the bell icon so you're the first to know when I upload new videos. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.
Well, I'm afraid that's us run out of time.
Oh,
I'm really
okay.
sorry.
Oh,
So,
thanks. Bye, everyone.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
If I give my heart to you, I must be sure